Hey there, this is Brian from Chaparral Cycles, and I'm going to do something new, something a little different. I'm going to do a bit of a post-build, pre-delivery video on this Chaparral Angeles. Customers coming by to pick it up this week. Eric, this build is for Eric, and he's actually out here in the area on business this coming week, and is going to pick it up in person. So it's going to be kind of a cool new experience for us. Been a bit of a fun project building this one up for Eric. He purchased this as part of our pre-order before the frames arrived, and quite a number of months went by, and back and forth emails here and there, and kind of went quiet in the lead up to the holidays. And I was out traveling in Japan with my family in the run up to the holidays, and got an email from Eric that he wanted to move ahead, wanted to finish up the build list. And we really kind of designed the full spec around a few key components that Eric knew that he wanted from the beginning. One was these rims, the Lancaster rims from HED, and Onyx hubs, and he wanted Madrone mechanical rear derailleur, along with the Growtac equal mechanical brakes. Eric knew that he also wanted a rigid fork on this build. Given where he rides, this is the kind of the perfect weapon of choice for him. So this was a bit different. To date, we've been building mostly SRAM. Did one Shimano build that's with a customer now. But to go fully mechanical on a drop bar mountain bike was quite the journey in aligning parts, converting parts, finding new distributors, new dealers, new partners to work with to complete this build. And so I thought I'd kind of talk through that a little bit. So it was, kind of a lot of early mornings and late nights when my family was asleep in Japan, sending all these emails, and honestly, it was quite fun. I kind of feel like this one's for me almost as much as it's for Eric, and I'm really looking forward to see him out there riding it. So where to start? We'll start off with the hoops. As I mentioned, we've got the 24-hole Lancaster carbon rim. When I first started looking at these, my answer was no, we can't get that rim because it only comes in a wheel set. But after reaching out to the good folks at HED, they said, yeah, we can sell that as a single rim. So went ahead and put that one in the cart, if you will. Then went with the Onyx hubs. These are hubs that I have wanted and lusted after for many years. I think that they are really cool. That instant silent engagement, instantaneous engagement, and then when you are coasting, they are absolutely silent. Just walking it out of the garage this morning, it's kind of unusual when the bike rolls completely silently like that. This is another dealer that we had to sign up, and had quite a bit of back and forth on how to make the arrangement work for us. But in the end, the good folks at Onyx were interested in working with us on this, which then hooked us up with their wheel building team. They have a full team of people in-house in their factory who do build wheels for them. So I had found a local wheel builder that we wanted to work with, but then when Onyx was going to take the hubs right off of the factory floor after they were built and work with hub rims, which they were already familiar with working with, gave very good recommendations on the spokes to use. We ended up going with these Pilar. I'm blanking on this specific model, but they're a triple butted spoke, which I've never worked with, but came recommended from their lead wheel builder that I had a very good conversation with on the wheel build. So yeah, the HED rims, the Onyx hubs, the Pilar spokes, nipples are black brass for durability, hair extra weight, but lots of extra durability there. Not going to deal with the corrosion that one might see with using sealant these days. So an important factor to consider when putting together a custom wheel build. So that rounds out the awesome wheel set. We've got the ENVE mountain fork. This is the fork that we work with for this bike, given the axle to crown length. So the distance between the lower race of the headset and the axle is, from all of the forks that I've looked at for aftermarket consumption, this is the one that most closely aligns with our axle to crown length that we've designed the fork around, and we're talking about being off by a handful of millimeters from what the org chart, not the org chart, the geometry chart says. So that is the ENVE mountain fork. This one's been a little bit hard to get a hold of lately. They've been running low on stock, so this one just arrived with the pre-order on that. Interestingly, maybe we'll move on to some of the components, lots of red components here for this build. Eric really wanted to work with the White Industries hub, the White Industries crank, and another dealer that we did not have an account with, so reached out to the good folks at White and got that all set up pretty quickly right before the holidays. I couldn't believe it. I was working with their new account person and getting in some of the final details on, I want to say it was Christmas Eve while I was in Japan. So really awesome that this new employee at White was responding so quickly on her holiday, leading up to her holiday. So yeah, another company that I've known about for years and always kind of been curious about their products, and instantly noticed when I opened the packages from White, the level of detail and the craftsmanship, the precision in their machining work was quite impressive. So we've got the White Industries crank. This is the M30. That is paired with the White Industries bottom bracket as well. So we've got a T47 bottom bracket from White Industries as well. And unfortunately, such a nice piece of kind of component candy is so hidden, but it's really kind of a joy to work with, and how quickly this one went together. We finished that off with the White Industries headset in Anno Red. Stem, we've got the Pacific Northwest Loam stem in a 40 millimeter. For bars, had a bit of back and forth with Eric on this. We also will commonly stock with spec with the PNW bar, but one that I personally use for the last year is this Whisky Spano carbon. This is the 48 mil carbon. It's got a very short reach, very shallow drop, long return for kind of getting on the drops and just kind of hanging out there for a while if you just want to put your head down and mash. But very nice kind of upright position on that. And honestly, the difference for me, I find, is those subtle, like real peak hits that you have out there riding. I don't care if you've got the suspension fork or not, going back and forth between builds with the aluminum versus the carbon. It's just this subtle ride quality that is really noticeable when you go back to the aluminum. Just that extra little hit at the kind of the peak of the frequency is just kind of muted with this bar. Sounds really subtle, kind of hard to describe, but almost instantly noticeable when you go back after spending some time on the carbon bar, going back to the aluminum one. Let's see. All right, let's get to kind of burying the lead here. So maybe I'll go back just a bit. I've been in the kind of the drop bar space for well over a decade now, pushing 15 years. And it's always been a challenge to find mountain gearing with a drop bar. And that was electronic, mechanical. It's been a challenge. The way that I've done it in the past is some Ultegra road shifters paired with an old pre-Dynasis XT mountain derailleur that would work with, it was like a different speed combination, but given the fact that the shifter is what's driving the amount of throw on the derailleur really doesn't care how many gears you're shifting through, so long as it's got the reach to get to the biggest cog to the smallest cog. So I think it was like a 9-speed derailleur paired with a 10-speed road shifter. I've used that on, I think, 3 different bikes over the years. I did it even as a triple, and my God, did it shift horribly. I was constantly using my foot to get it into the smallest 22 tooth ring, but it worked. Just kludgy as all get out. But frankly, the industry just didn't support that space. But that's changed a lot, and frankly, it really changed a lot in my mind once I kind of started paying attention to it again, at least around this fall. And so, leading up to that, you had SRAM for quite a number of years, 2, 3, maybe even 4 years, where you could pair an electronic road shifter with an electronic mountain derailleur and get a proper 1x1052 gear range. Then this summer, Shimano came out finally after forever with their GRX full wireless that can pair with a Mountain XT-XTR rear derailleur to get a 1051 spread, right? So nice proper support from 2 top-tier component manufacturers. Check. Drop bar mountain bike becoming much, much easier. But now what we saw is an introduction into the mechanical space. And so Eric knew that he wanted the Madrone mechanical shifter. This is by a small outfit out of Oregon, machining these beautiful rear derailleurs. Lots of configurability in terms of what you're hooking that up to, which shifters, how many speeds. I ran through quite a number of interesting combinations that are still potentially worth exploring if people want to look into it, with new Ultegra shifters connected to that rear derailleur. But after some back and forth, quite a bit of back and forth over a number of months, we settled on the Force 22. This happens to be an 11-speed, brand new through eBay, so new old school NOS, completely sealed box for these SRAM 22 Force 11-speed shifters that we got in. That was then converted to 12-speed using the Ratio 12-speed conversion kit. So another great team to work with. Been chatting with these folks since the summer. When SRAM came out with their Eagle mountain derailleur, I sent a message and said, look, hey, you guys are kind of our only drop bar option. If you can come out with a conversion kit to work with the Eagle 90, Eagle 70 stuff. And they said, hang tight, we're working on something. Well, that something is their own mechanical derailleur, which is sitting in the garage waiting to go onto my personal bike for the next build. But we got the 12-speed new ratcheting system installed. That was quite an interesting experience. Had my reading glasses on, headlamp on, video on laptop going for this conversion, just completely disassembling the guts and hoping to goodness that no part rolled underneath something in the garage, or I didn't get to the end of the build with parts left over. But it actually, after a few little struggles getting the axle out the back, it actually went pretty quickly, to the point that I screwed something up, putting it back together again, had to disassemble, put it all back together again, and it just kind of worked. And I was a little nervous, but quite honestly, it shifts beautifully. It's been a while since I've ridden the double tap. It's been 5-6 years at least since I've ridden double tap, but from memory, it shifts just like it used to. So I'm kind of chuffed at myself for that. So again, 12-speed hooked up to full mechanical Madrone rear derailleur. I forget exactly which cam they've got, but it's in their supported list. That cam works with the 12-speed ratio conversion kit. I think it was a recent thing that they confirmed. And yes, it does actually work quite well. Those are then hooked up to those Growtac equal mechanical brakes. Those came from the team at Velo Orange, who is the US distributor of that from the team in Japan that makes the brakes. And I haven't put them to the test in terms of how well they brake, but in terms of setup, it was a fun little process. The ability to dial in each side independently, the ability to dial in the amount of, like kind of the bite point. There's a little adjuster for that. That was a novelty, and I've worked with a handful of different mechanical brakes over the years. Personally, I am going to be testing out the clampers next to see the kind of the analysis that I did. Analysis, i.e., reading the internet, says that the clampers are a little bit better, more for loaded mountain biking types of activities, as opposed to the Growtac, which are maybe a little more oriented towards road, gravel, light loaded. I'm sure there's a bit of a Venn diagram overlap there in that spectrum, but either way, I think given the riding that Eric is going to be doing, these Growtacs are going to be perfect. So those are on there. Eric went with these pretty low profile Pirelli Cinturato, hopefully I said that right. These are the Cinturato Gravel H, and these are in, where is it printed? I want to say 50 mil. There we go. 700 by 50 tubeless casing. Yep. So on the thinner, narrower side, I think of a lot of the builds that we've been doing. I've been running 235s for many, many moons now, a little bit over a year. So yeah, these are a little bit narrower, I think, but for the purposes and where he's going to be riding, it's a great choice. I mean, it looks like it's going to be super efficient. I'll say we went with Eric wanted to try out this Redshift. I forget exactly what the model is, but it's their suspension seat post and a good amount of squish involved in that. Just riding it around the neighborhood, it was kind of fun, kind of floating on that saddle. Well, enough of the fireside chat. Let's get some close-ups. All right, so here we go on the build, and got that beautiful Onyx front hub, ENVE fork, mounts on the side, triple mounts. Got the kind of the inside of that Growtac hub, so you can see that this is where you adjust one side of it, and then in the back here is where you can see you can make some of the little adjustments. Just a beautiful little piece of machinery there. Come up, we've got the headset, and this beautiful bar tape. It's the first one I've used of this style from this brand. So this is BTB. We've been using these quite a lot. It's like a woven, padded handlebar tape, and they've got just some really beautiful designs and colors that are quite unusual. I think it goes really well with the aesthetic of the bike. Those are the force shifters. We've got the top tube bag mounts. This is where we've got the port for the wiring. If Eric ever wants to put a rear dyno light on there. Eric went with this Brooks C17 saddle. Good choice. A lot of people love that one. White Industries cranks. We've got a 32 millimeter or 32 tooth ring. We've got the bottom bracket from White Industries as well. Tons and tons of clearance on the frame there. Rack mount. And then look at that baby. Look at that cool thing. Right? Roller cam, adjuster. It's got this extra stiffener plate for working with the UDH mount on this frame. So there's a standard UDH hanger that it connects to, and then this over plate connects to the outside of the UDH bolt. This is the little cam. So this is replaceable depending on kind of the configuration that you're using. Got their clutch system there. Some nice machined pulleys. We've got an older non-transmission, older I guess, or just either way, non-transmission cassette. This is the 1052 Eagle XX with a nice rainbow coating there. It's kind of pretty and flashy. And then this beautifully silent hub. Okay. All right, let's listen. Look at that. It's silent. Not a single noise. Stop it. Instant engagement. Every time. Yeah, I can't wait to do another wheel. I can't wait to have my own Onyx hub. That one's gonna have to save for the road bike project that we're getting started. Well, as you can see, it started to finally rain, so we'll cut this one, start wrapping it up. Good run through on the bike, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little behind the scenes making of, if you will, on this latest customer project for Eric. Yeah, really just want to thank you, Eric, for your trust in us and your willingness to go on this adventure with us, and not only this very unique build, but then also just as we're building this new company, and your trust in us. It means a lot, and really stoked on how this project turned out. Really looking forward to seeing what you do, how you get out and enjoy the bike. Looking forward to all your feedback and hearing about all your adventures. So yeah, again, thanks everybody for watching this, and hopefully you've picked up a few tidbits. Frames are available now. Go ahead and hit up chaparralcycles.com. Take a look at build kit options, frame option. If you want to pick something from SRAM, from Shimano, lots of different options there in terms of building it with some pre-selected parts. But then obviously you can, kind of sky's the limit in terms of configurability, customization that we are happy to work with you on. So, all right, until the next build coming soon, going to see something not too dissimilar from what we built up here. But all right, everybody, thanks a lot. Take care. Cheers. Bye.